Hello students, in this part of the video you will study about electrolytic conductance, various types of conductivities and the measurement of electrolytic conductance. So let's start with conductors. Conductors are the substances which allow electricity to pass through them, whereas the substances which do not allow electricity to pass through them are called insulators. Conductors can be broadly classified into two types. First is electronic conductors and second is electrolytic conductors. Electronic conductors conduct electricity without undergoing decomposition. The conductance is mainly due to flow of electrons. Examples are metals, salts, certain minerals, graphite. Okay. Electrolytic conductors conducts electricity and undergo decomposition. That is, when current is passed through them, the electrolytic conductors undergo decomposition. The conductance is mainly due to movement of ions. Okay. For example, solutions of acids, bases, salts in water, fused salts, etc. are examples of electrolytic conductors. They are also known as electrolytes. These electrolytes may be classified as strong electrolytes or weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes are, for example, strong acids, strong bases, and most of the inorganic salts. They dissociate completely in solution. Okay, that's why they are strong electrolytes. Whereas weak electrolytes undergo partial decomposition or partial ionization in the solution. The fraction of the total number of molecules of the electrolyte which ionizes in the solution is known as degree of ionization. Now there are certain factors that affect electrolytic conductance. Let's see. The first is the nature of electrolyte. Nature of electrolyte means whether it is strong electrolyte or weak electrolyte. If it is a strong electrolyte, the conductance is more. If it is a weak electrolyte, electrolytic conductance will be less. Next is the size of ions and also their solvation. Greater is the size, whether it is due to solvation or the original size of the ion, the conductance will low, because it will provide hindrance to the movement of ion. Smaller is the size, electrolytic conductance is more. Next is the nature of solvent and its viscosity. Nature of solvent means whether it is polar or non-polar. Polar solvents, in polar solvents, the electrolyte ionize to a greater extent. Hence, greater is the conductance. And if the solvent is viscous in nature, if the viscosity is higher, it will provide resistance to the flow of the ions, and hence the conductance will be low. Weak conductance is there. Next is the concentration of solution. Higher the concentration of solution, less is the conductance. This is because in a weak electrolyte, the ionization is less, whereas in strong electrolyte, the interionic attractions are high at higher concentration. With dilution, in case of weak electrolytes, ionization increases and hence conductance increases. In case of strong electrolyte, if we dilute the solution, the forces of attraction will decrease and hence the movement of ion will become easier. So, the electrolytic conductance will be more with dilution. Next factor is temperature. Temperature, with increasing temperature, you know that the kinetic energy of the molecule increases. That is, with the increasing temperature, the ions will move faster and also dissociation also increases. That's why the conductance increases. Now let's see what the electrical resistance and conductance are. any substance which offers resistance to flow of electricity can be determined by the Ohm's law. Okay, in physics you must have studied the Ohm's law, according to which the resistance is equal to E by I. That is, if E voltage is applied to the ends of conductor and I current flows through it, then the resistance of the conductor will be equal to E by I. Its unit is ohm, which is equal to volt per ampere. Conductance represented by G is the reciprocal of resistance. Okay, and its unit is also ohm inverse or MHO or Siemens. Now let's see what the specific, equivalent and molar conductivities are. It is observed that the resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to length of the conductor and area of cross section. So R is equal to a constant L by A. This constant is known as rho, which is known as specific resistance or resistivity. As we know that resistance is the reciprocal of conductance, R is equal to 1 by G. Similarly, resistivity or specific resistance is inverse of specific conductance. Now since R is equal to rho L by A, putting the values of R and rho in this equation, we have 1 by G equal to 1 by kappa, that is specific conductance, into L by A. Rearranging the equation, we will get kappa is equal to G into L by A. Kappa is known as specific conductance. Okay. Now let's see equivalent conductivity. Equivalent conductivity is the conductance of all the ions produced from 1 gram equivalent of electrolyte present in V centimeter cube of the solution. Okay, 1 gram equivalent of electrolyte present in V centimeter cube of solution when the distance between the electrode is 1 centimeter and area of the electrode is so large that the solution, all the solution is contained between them. It is represented by lambda equivalent. Okay. Equivalent conductivity is equal to specific conductivity into V. Specific conductivity is kappa and V is the volume. Since we are taking 1 gram equivalent weight of electrolyte, so V can be replaced by 1000 upon normality. So this is the equation for equivalent conductivity. Similarly, molar conductivity is the conductance of all the ion produced from 1 mole of electrolyte dissolved in V centimeter cube of solution when the electrodes are 1 centimeter apart and the area of the electrode is so large that the whole solution is contained between them. Represented by lambda m, and it is also equal to specific conductivity into V. Here V is the volume of solution and in which 1 mole of electrolyte is taken. So this V can be replaced by 1000 upon molarity. So lambda m is equal to kappa C into 1000 upon molarity. Now let's see how the measurement of electrolytic conductance is done. Since the conductance is the reciprocal of resistance, if we measure the resistance of a conductor and we can calculate conductance. The resistance of a conductor can be measured by Wheatstone bridge arrangement. This typical figure represents the Wheatstone bridge. Here the 4 arms contains the resistance. R1, R2, R3, R4 are the resistance of the conductors. Okay, and here G is the galvanometer. R1 can be varied by us, and R2 is the unknown resistance. The resistance, the conductor whose resistance to be found is attached to this arm. Now, there is when we arrange conductors in this fashion and press the key, there is flow of current and the galvanometer shows deflection. the R1 is varied such that the conductance we will get a null point. Null point means where the galvanometer shows no deflection. R1 is varied in such a manner that galvanometer shows no deflection. This will be the null point, and at this point R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. Okay, this is a typical Wheatstone bridge. So, but for measuring the electrolytic conductance of ionic solution, there arise two types of problem. First difficulty is that we cannot attach a solution in place of R1, okay, like a metal wire or a solid conductor. And second, when we apply current, the solution in between the electrodes gets polarized. That is, the concentration changes, and hence the resistance of the solution also changes. Okay, the first difficulty can be overcome by using a conductivity cell. This is a picture of conductivity cell. The most common conductivity cell can be either filling type or a dripping type. There are various types of conductivity cell available for measuring ionic conductance. In this is a glass vessel. Electrolytic solution is taken in it, and the electrodes are coated with platinum so that polarization occurs to minimum extent. Okay, and here this is the connecting wire which is connected to the Wheatstone bridge. So, to sum up, three modifications are required in a usual Wheatstone bridge. That is, the source of the direct current is replaced by alternating current, which can be done by using an induction coil. Second one, galvanometer is replaced by earphone. Galvanometer is replaced by earphone, and when the resistance is varied to such an extent so that the sound in the earphone is reduced to minimum. Okay, and the third is electrode of the cell are coated with freshly prepared platinum black before use. By using this type of arrangement and using this relation, we can measure the conductance of ionic solutions. Once we get the conductance of electrolytic conductance G, that is G of ionic solution, we can then measure specific conductivity, that is kappa, lambda m molar conductivity, and lambda equivalent, that is equivalent conductivity.